So, very important message. Quickly, number one, let's talk about types of people who cannot be saved. The desire of God is for everybody to be saved, but there are some people who cannot be saved. Let's talk about them. You know, God cannot compromise his standard for justice to save someone. He cannot. He has to follow his standard. He cannot compromise his standard to save someone. So let's talk about them. Number one, the unbelievers. You know, the Bible said that everybody will appear before, all those people who are born again will appear before the judgment seat of Christ to receive the rewards which were done, to receive the rewards according to that thing which they did while on the body, while they were on earth. But all those people who are not born again, the unbelievers, the all people who live in sin, all those people will appear before the great white throne. The great white throne judgment is all those people who didn't believe in Jesus Christ. They were not born again. They didn't bother even to look for Christ when they were alive. Those people, when they die, immediately when they die, they get cast into hellfire. And when they are in hellfire, they are waiting for their day of judgment. And when the day of judgment comes, they will appear before the judgment seat. They will appear before the great white throne. The great white throne is all those people who are unbelievers, adulterers, fornicators, uncleanliness, all those people who live in sin. They were not born again and they didn't bother to be saved. But as people who are born again, if you are born again, you will appear before the judgment seat of Christ. And all those people who will appear before the judgment seat of Christ won't be cast into hellfire. Even if they die today, if you are born again and you die today, you will not go to hellfire. You will go to heaven. And in heaven there is a place where there's a place where they are waiting for the judgment to receive the good things they did while on earth. So number one, I want us to talk about the unbelievers. Unbelievers are those people who don't believe. They are those people who don't believe. No matter the kind of gospel you try to preach to them, they won't believe. They have decided not to believe. So all those people cannot be born again because they have decided not to believe. According to John 3:16, we have been told very well that you can only be saved. God loved the world and he provided his only begotten Son, Jesus Christ, for all those people who believe in him may be saved. So if you don't believe in Jesus Christ, you can't be saved. If you die, you go to hellfire. In hellfire, there you will be waiting for your day of judgment to be cast into lake of fire. Number two, let's talk about the hypocrites. Hypocrites are pretenders, are those people who pretend. They pretend to be holy, but they are not. On Sunday, you see them raising their holy hand in the church, pretending to be holy, pretending to be worshiping the Lord, pretending to be serving the God, but they are not serving the God. They are something else. In weekdays, you see them in clubs, you see them party, living in sin, but on Sunday, you see them pretending to be holy, but they are not. Number three, let's talk about the apostate. Apostate is someone who has given up their religion. Their final condition is always worse than their first. If you are born again, if you have known Jesus Christ, don't give up and don't lose hope. Because if you lose hope and if you give up and you go again to the world, your final condition will be worse than the first. So these people, they cannot be born again. Number four, we have got the blasphemy. Blasphemy. Those people who blaspheme the Holy Spirit, they mock the Holy Spirit. You see them, the celebrities, the comedians. You see them mocking the Holy Spirit and mocking the Christians. Those people cannot be born again. And the blasphemy is a sin that all sins can be forgiven. No matter what you do, you can be forgiven. But the sin of blaspheming the Holy Spirit cannot be forgiven, no matter what. That's the only sin which Bible has told us cannot be forgiven. Number five, let's talk about the dead. You see people in the funeral. You see pastors pastors praying for the dead, may your soul rest in peace, or may you put them in good place. They are praying, telling God to put the dead into a resting place. If this person did get salvation, when he was alive he was not born again, and now he is dead, you are praying for him to make heaven. Where in the Bible were we told such a thing can happen? A person who is dead cannot be born again. It was their choice they made while they were alive, and now when they die, whether you write rest in peace, whether you tell them what, no matter how hard you try to pray for them, they cannot make it to heaven. They will go to the place where they chose when they were alive. So make that clear. We'll talk about the remaining one.